Hey friends, what's up? Thanks for stopping by Success Buddy. And before we move on here, don't forget to subscribe to Success Buddy. Hit that notification bell because when you do that, you'll be the first to find out when I come out with new content. All right, guys, my friends, I'm still getting used to my new phone. This phone I've had not even 4 days, 5 days, or something like that. It's different when you're recording on different devices. You have to relearn how the phones work and stuff like that. And I just done this whole video, 20 plus minutes of it, and then I realized that I was uploading it to YouTube and the screen wasn't rotating when I was talking on the phone diagonally, and it works differently from the other phone that I had. So now I'm gonna have to start this video over again. And so at that, guys, I appreciate your guys' patience. And I noticed that I had a number of views on that video, even though the recording wasn't sideways. It was sideways. So anyways, here to talk about tipping, the latest rules of tipping. And this isn't my personal blog, guys. This is something that I just found on Google. And I'm going to talk about tipping a little bit. Tips. So back in the day, back in the 90s, I was 19 years old. I went to school to be trained as a blackjack dealer at a casino. I worked. Oh wow, that's some of the fun that you get when messaging people for online opportunities. Go to hell. All right. Anyways, I worked in one of the first casinos in Washington State history. I was a blackjack dealer, and back in working on a casino on the reservation, the federal pay minimum wage is a lot lower than state minimum wage. So I was only working for pennies, basically. I think I was getting paid like 5 something per hour. That was when minimum wage was like $7 to $8 or something like that, around there. So we relied a lot on our tips as a blackjack dealer. And at that time and place of employment, you got to keep your own tips, meaning that you had your own tip jar on your table that you carried around with you all night. When you were dealing on different tables, you carried your tip jar around with you. And at the end of the night, because it's not real money that they're tipping, it's chips, casino chips, then you would go cash in your tips at the end of the night at Cash Cage. You would tally up how much tips that you made, and then you get to take that home. So a lot of people prospered off of that, especially when they figured out how the system worked. But those of us that didn't have really good relationship skills, that were new at this and young, like myself, I was a hot dealer. And I'm not talking about my features or anything like that. I was a hot dealer, meaning that I was set in high roller tables to rake some of the money back. This is when we manually shuffled the cards. I could never lose for the life of me. So with that being said, hardly ever got good tips throughout the night. My cousin on the other hand, he would get like 60,000 per year back in the 90s, because he figured out how that system worked. He knew how to warm up to people, start up conversations. He actually still works at the casino yet. It's not the same casino, it's a new one out here. But yeah, getting tips. This blog that I'm about to show you guys, it's talking about how to tip in 2023. I'm going to start off here. Despite how commonplace tipping is in the US, it can seem confusing to understand how much to tip for which services. Through common advice to say tip 15% to 20%, it may not always be obvious how much to tip for a service, or even when to tip at all. With inflation rising, low-wage workers' incomes aren't keeping up. Only 37% of workers making under 50% per hour, 50,000 per year, who received a pay raise said it was for cost of living adjustment, according to Bankroll. rate poll. Tipping may feel like extra work for you to calculate, but it's vital for some fields because the expectation is that tipped workers will make more through tips. They will legally only need to make $2.13 an hour in the US. Here is how to show your thanks and tip appropriately for a wide range of services. 47% of younger millennials workers aged 26 to 32 say their income hasn't kept up with or exceeded increase in the household expenses due to inflation. 31% of working Americans who have received a raise in the past 12 months as of September 2022 receive a cost of living increase. 39% of those who received a raise in the past 12 months or received a better paying job say their income has kept pace or exceeded the rise in the household expenses. 63% of older millennials 33 to 41 are likely to tip service staff like waiters and bartenders more during the holidays, the most of any age demographic. 42% of older boomers aged 68 to 76 are likely to tip service staff like waiters and bartenders more during the holidays, the least of any age demographic. 73% of Americans who dine at sit-down restaurants always tip when doing so. Only 13% of people who pick up takeout food always tip when doing so. 43% of consumers generally tip restaurant servers 20% or more. 32% of consumers typically tip delivery drivers 20% or more. 61% of consumers expect to tip 20% or more during the holidays. San Francisco is the most generous city in the US for tipping, with 45% of orders receiving a tip of 20% or more. So this blog, it goes into how much to tip for at restaurants, bars, and how much to tip for coffee shops, delivery drivers, hotels, traveling, at weddings, at salons and spas, tip for transportation, childcare, and movers, and general guidelines for tipping so basically it's 15 to 20%. That's what the average is for tips for all of those that I just named just a moment ago. So with that being said, the reason I'm talking about tips, my friends, is that you guys know the line of work that I'm in. I've shared my journey with you, and I work full-time as a security guard. I am a single parent. I have 4 kids at home. I went through a separation these last couple of years. My wife had a mental breakdown, and it's been a rough road. The pandemic did not help one bit with everything that's going on, but I still maintained. I still keep an eye on the prize in my journey. I like to look for other like-minded people like myself, other single parents, other single dads, single moms, are people that are like-minded, entrepreneur-minded, that are looking for a better way, that are in hopes of creating a better life for themselves and their families. And you guys know that I'm involved with network marketing, MLMs, network marketing, and we do not get paid by the hour, meaning that you check out my YouTube channel here. I have probably hundreds and hundreds of videos. I'm trying to do this more frequent. This is how I get the word out for the opportunities that I'm promoting. And that's not a sure thing. I'm just sharing information in hopes of people wanting to get curious and look further. That's why I have all these automated tools that I use for the opportunities, like the cell phone funnel, that you can use keywords to text. That's why my videos, you'll see text this keyword, text info to 360-845-1809. So it'll be in hopes of them wanting more information on, and I try to find an enticing title for everything that I do. So we don't get paid by the hour. We don't get paid by the hour of this. I just do this just to get the information out. And some people will jump on it. Some people will text me. A lot of them won't. The the numbers game of this is the average is 1%. That's one person out of every 100 that will look. Will at least say that they might be interested. So that it takes a lot of you have to have a lot of people looking at what you're doing in order to be able to kill it in this industry. So with that being said, you guys, I'm not a guru. I'm not one of those ones that have the rags to riches type of story, but I still am not quitting. I still got my eye on the prize. With that being said, guys, I want to show you my online tipping jar. I know it sounds funny, but you got an online tip jar where it can get up to $100 tips, and you can do exactly the same with this also. And that's why what I'm coming down to. This is my online tipping jar. It's called Best Easy Work. Best Easy Work getting tips fast. You got a 2-minute video that explains how this works. You can get $5 to $10, $100 tips over and over instantly via Cash App. This would be perfect for a fundraiser. I mean, you guys seen my video about a month ago. My daughter, her home burnt down. She lost everything, including her cats who had babies. This would be perfect for a fundraiser if you're doing something like that. Have your own online tip jar. You get it. So yeah, like I said, you get your own online tip jar, and I'm gonna read you guys below what it says at the bottom of the sales page. Best Easy Work Cash Tips. Most people gladly tip for services delivered. You too can easily be in position to receive daily tips. It feels so great to be appreciated with simple cash tip method for showing you are excellent opportunities that anyone can use and also benefit. We love and appreciate receiving tips, and we thank you so much for your tip. After all, it's just courtesy. The tip amount you will be entitled to receive is totally dependent on your generous tip amount you tip your sponsor. A tip of $110 allows you $100 max tips for yourself. So if your sponsor is a $100 tipper and you want to also receive $100 maximum tips, you would tip your sponsor $100 and you must tip the admin $10. After all, the admin, he created this program. He's going to keep this website up for you. You don't have to ever cover any hosting fees, any website fees, and he's going to close your sales for you guys. He's working 6 days a week. He has himself available. Just keep that in mind. Another example, if your sponsor is a $40 tipper and you want to be a $100 tipper, you would tip your sponsor $40 and admin $70 to be activated as the $100 tipper. We thank you again for your time and tip. We really look forward to working with you. Please review the site for your benefit. If you still have questions, call us directly. 800-965-9330, 9 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, Monday through Saturday. So, to get started with this, the link's going to be in the description, my friends. Sponsor tip, you should click that link, and it's going to go directly to your sponsor's Cash App, and then you can put whatever amount of tip you want to put in there. And don't forget the admin, he gets a $10 tip or the difference. And if you do not have Cash App, I will put the Cash App link in the description. But maybe you're outside the US, you can still do this. You can pay with a credit card. They take Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. So if you want this, the cool thing I like about this Cash App tip program is you can accept tips. You get paid instantly via Cash App. So as soon as they put the money in there, it gets sent directly to your Cash App. And if you have a Cash App card, you can use it just like a regular debit card or credit card, and go spend it or do whatever you want to do with it. And it's also going to get eyeballs on